Here we have a pre-owned 2016 Toyota Tacoma. This one is an access cab that comes in the SR trim level. Comes in magnetic gray metallic, and then we have cement gray cloth interior. And the powertrain consists of a 2.7 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder putting out 159 horsepower. And that's made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And then this particular truck has a little over 102,000 miles. But as we come around to the front end here, we have LED headlamps. And a great look here. Even with this one being the basic truck in 2016, still looks very nice. Just have a little bit of a scuff here, but for the most part, especially on this magnetic gray, can't see a lot of scratches. And down here we have our 17-inch aluminum wheels. Fixed running boards there. And this one doesn't have a key fob, but we do get power door locks. You just have to use the key to unlock the truck. Power mirror controls are here, left side, right side, and then you can adjust. And then rear window lock and power door lock controls there. You get express down for the driver's side, and then just a regular power window for the passenger side. So that's what that locks. It's not the rear window lock. But 2 bottle holders there. And that's the release for the hood. And here is our 4-way manual driver's seat, and we do get manual lumbar support as well. And then to open this back door, got to reach in here, and there's the latch for that. So it's kind of a jump seat, and then you can pull that up flat if you want to use that on either side. And then your buckles are here, and then it's neat to have the storage area underneath here as well. So tons of storage, even though this is the smallest variant of this truck. That's pretty neat. And there's our fuel cap there. But coming around to the back end, nothing crazy going on, just got our standard taillights. And then we do get a tow hitch here, spares underneath there, and there's the exhaust. And this one has an aftermarket bed cover. And then we have the spray and bed liner there. Then again, more storage on the sides there. But again, just from the condition this one's in, definitely not bad at all to have 102,000 miles on. It's still a pretty clean looking truck. And then here we have our 4-way manual front passenger seat. So control the seat back there, and we can move the seat bottom, grabbing that bar there. Lockable glove compartment, pretty good storage. Let's go back around to the front. And then this hood is especially heavy. I know that from the other Tacomas I've reviewed. So it's always hard to do this with one hand. Ooh. But there's that 2.7 liter 4-cylinder. It's like lifting weights. But let's hop back in the driver's seat. So nice vinyl wrap steering wheel here. I like how thick it is, and it doesn't seem like there's been too much fading going around or going on here. Just a little bit at the top there for when the driver is just driving like that. I'm gonna turn the AC down a little bit. Here we have our radio. We do get AM, FM, and then Bluetooth audio. Then we have an aux input, CD drive, and USB as well, and the CD drive is right there. And then we have a shortcut for the Bluetooth, and to connect that, all you have to do is go to add, and then it walks you through from whatever phone you're using. So pretty simple. And then settings here, you can change your beep on and off. And then language, you have English, French, and Spanish. And there's all that there. And then pretty standard, not a lot going on, but it makes it that much easier to use. And then volume knob is here. We can click there for the mute, and then we can use this as a tune knob as well. But backup camera's there. And then down below here, hazards. I like that they're right there. And then fan speed, we can turn the whole system off there. And then AC toggle is here. We can control the temperature there. And then we can control fan direction here. And then we have our aux input, USB-A port, 12 volt. 2 bottle holders here, the third here, little storage there, emergency brake there, and then for the shifter, for the 6-speed, hit the brake, pull down, reverse, neutral, drive, and you can come over here, manually shift there, downshift, upshift. And then another 12 volt, you can't see because it's so dark in there, but 12 volt there, and a decent sized center console space for an Access Cab Tacoma. There's a view of the back from up here. And then your traction control is gonna be right here. You can toggle that on and off. And then sunglasses holder there. Vanity mirror, we don't get one, but we can slide this back and forth as a sunshade. And then over here, blinker, headlamps are on, high beams, flash there, then corners, daytime running lights, and then everything's off there. And then for your windshield wipers, that's high, low, off, and then one time, and then pull up here for the front wiper fluid. And we can go through our radio station presets here, volume here, voice recognition button here. We can go through our bands there, and then you can hold that for a mute button, and then Bluetooth buttons here. And then if I can get the lights back on, we can adjust the brightness of the gauge cluster here, and it's kind of like a tap, but you're turning it. And then we can click it to go through either trip A, trip B, or get the trips off. And the tire pressure monitor sensors on there, so one of those may be broken, need to be replaced, or one might just have low air, I don't know. And then we just have the key in the ignition there. Again, we don't have remote keyless entry, but we do get those power door locks. But next, let's go ahead and take this Tacoma SR out on the road for a quick test drive. So starting the test drive in this 2016 Tacoma, I have the ECT power button, which is this down here. I have that engaged, and what that does is, it stands for electronically controlled transmission power. It's weird, but basically it has it feels like a sport mode, which is what it's kind of meant to be. So when I put my foot down, it's ready to go. And when I turn it off, I'll do the same thing. And it's almost like it's in a standard eco mode where it doesn't want to shift up to those higher rev points. And I actually like it because this truck is extremely slow when that ECT power is not engaged. But when it is engaged, it feels more like it should be. It's a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder, but still, with that kind of displacement, I expect a little bit better acceleration than I was getting, specifically in this small to mid-sized pickup truck. But again, with that button engaged, it drives so much better. And that was really my biggest issue with this. I put a few miles on it, probably about 10-15 miles on it, just getting used to the truck and kind of getting a feel for it. And every time I'd come out of a red light, it was just, it would not give me power like it should. It was going, but it was so sluggish, extremely sluggish. But I guess that kind of driving feel is what helps you get good fuel economy. And if you're getting a 4-cylinder pickup truck, that's probably a factor in why you got that truck. But I want to put that ECT power back on, come out of this corner and see how much better it feels. Now, of course, you're burning a lot more fuel, but that just feels so much better. And I'll show you the difference because I'm going to turn this off and then slow down and then just show you the difference coming out of almost a stop. So when I go now, it just doesn't really want to do anything. And it's still, especially when you're not coming from a stop, it's decent power output, but coming from a stop, it just feels so sluggish. Again, it feels like a standard eco mode. But other than that, just driving this, I love the driving feel of it. Again, with that ECT power engage, it just feels like a Tacoma should. So we'll put that ECT power on, give it some throttle here. And again, just feels much better. Now with this being an SR, pretty bare bones, you don't get cruise control, which is kind of a letdown, but I'm not sure that standard adaptive was available yet. It might have been 17 or 18 for Toyota, so really not that big of a deal. And this will probably be used for light hauling anyways, for the most part, maybe some light towing, but you're probably not going to be taking it around the world on road trips and whatnot, so there's that. But the ride quality, I'm doing about 72 here, and it's pretty good, actually very good for this kind of truck. With it being an access cab, there's wind intrusion because of those back doors, and then, I mean, it's a light duty truck, a very light duty truck, you could say. So it doesn't have that same heavy feel, heavy insulation that you'd expect on maybe a Tundra or something like that, but still not overly intrusive. And it might be a little better than the 16 Colorados. But driving feel, definitely have to have that ECT power engaged, because when that's not on, I love the Colorado's driving dynamics compared to this one. But especially with this one having a little over 102,000 miles, almost 103,000 actually, it'll be a pretty good buy in my opinion, because you're able to get something that's much more inexpensive than buying a new Tacoma, especially an SR, and then you still have plenty of life left in this truck, because these tend to go 250, 300,000 miles at least. Of course, they're maintained properly, but they're just so easy to work on, especially with that bulletproof 6-speed automatic. And then with this one having the 4-cylinder, you just have that much less of an issue in terms of price when you're having to do maintenance or repairs. And the V6 is probably the best engine option in my opinion, because I feel like you get similar reliability, much more power, and especially if you're doing a lot of accelerating, stop and go traffic, it's probably easier to get the V6 up to speed without revving the engine as high. So it's almost like you're breaking even there. But what you get in the SR, I feel like for a lot of bare bones truck buyers, they get what they want. I mean, you don't get cruise control on this one in particular, but you do get the Bluetooth audio. You still have your backup camera. This one had the bedliner, tow package. And it's just it's a good truck. I have a Toyota Tundra, it has about 208,000 miles in 04, and before that I had an 07. And you don't get issues like you do in American trucks out of these Toyotas. You just don't get the same thing where the transmission shot at 120,000 miles, or this happens here and that happens there, and you're spending $3 grand at the shop and you got 70,000 miles on a truck. And that's one of the things that really keep these Tacoma and Tundra buyers coming back. Now with the new powertrains that are coming out, we'll see how that lasts. But especially this body style around this year, before they started putting turbos in the pickup trucks, reliability is still pretty good on this. But huge shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this truck today. I'll leave a link below to it in the description if you're interested in purchasing. Otherwise, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2016 Toyota Tacoma SR.